The following program is a SUTV student production. The views expressed are not necessarily those of Salisbury University, the University System of Maryland, its regents, administration, officers, employees, or representatives.
Coming up on tonight's broadcast, we speak with University and State Police about the near-campus incident that caused a campus-wide lockdown last night.
And Carly Nichols gives us a look into why our spring season is turning out to feel more like winter.
And Amanda Newman tells us how Salisbury University lacrosse performed in last week's annual War on the Shore tournament. This is SUTV Evening News.
Welcome to SUTV Evening News. Thank you for joining us. I'm Sarah Gisriel.
And I'm Brooke Reese. We begin tonight with the campus-wide lockdown that affected the university late last night. While the Wicomico County Narcotics Task Force attempted to identify the suspect, Edwin Lamont Fletcher, under felony drug charges, he rammed into a state trooper's car and then fled the scene. 2 state troopers and a Wicomico County Sheriff's Office deputy were injured in the patrol car. All officers were admitted last night but were released from PRMC this morning. The scene of the incident was in downtown Salisbury on the adjacent parking lot of Market Street and Camden Avenue. Greg Shipley of the Maryland State Police Department brings us that information about the incident.
The other police officers who were part of that team in the parking lot were obviously in fear for the lives of those police officers in the car. They fired shots at the suspect. The suspect apparently was not hit, nor was the unidentified person in the vehicle with him. He continued from the scene, fled the parking lot in that vehicle. The vehicle was found about 15 minutes later, abandoned, and a search has been underway for the suspect since that time. Overnight, early this morning, state police investigators obtained a warrant charging Fletcher with additional charges, including first-degree attempted murder, second-degree attempted murder, first and second-degree assault, and related criminal charges. The search continues with all 3 police departments, the Fruitland Police Department as well. All are aware of Fletcher and the warrants for him. So police have continued since 8 o'clock last night to search for him. That's continued throughout the lower shore. They are contacting associates of his, as well as following up other leads in an attempt to find him. We will continue to work diligently until he's located.
And as the suspect moved closer to campus in his escape, Salisbury University Police took lockdown precautions that ensured the safety of SU students and staff. Lieutenant Joel Davies tells us what measures were taken to protect the university.
What we did at first was we put out emails and texts to let everyone know about that. We called in extra manpower from officers that were off. We brought in other agencies. The Sheriff's Department was involved, and Maryland State Police. What we did was we stationed police cars all around campus, basically setting up a network of safety so that everyone felt safe. We went into the buildings, we swept the building floor to floor to make sure everyone was safe. Then what we did was we evacuated the buildings. Everyone was kind of brought out the best we could the same door so that they were heading out towards where the police cars were. We made sure they got to their cars. People that lived off campus and didn't have cars, we discussed with them how they could carpool. They had people pick them up real quick, but it was basically, an effort between the 3 different agencies going through the buildings, making sure everything was safe, and then the network of police vehicles outside with lights flashing, to make everyone feel comfortable. So we're the ones that went in the building and took care of clearing each floor by floor, looking in every classroom, which was a daunting task. It takes a long time to hit 8 or 9 buildings on campus. So, it was a methodic, slow process. The Sheriff's Department was there very quickly for us. They were in the parking lots. The best we could do is put them in the middle of a parking lot or near the front of a building so that when people came out they felt safe. Sometime this week we'll do an event action plan of what happened, how we responded, what can be done better next time, and we'll look at everything we did and see what we can do better next time. Being the first time that this has been done, I think we did a very good job. I think the students did a great job getting out of the building, listening to our directions.
And as campus was largely affected last night, we spoke to students and the faculty that were advised to stay in campus buildings.
Yeah, I was at UFC and playing racquetball, and when they didn't close early, we got a little suspicious. So all got the text, and police officers blocked the front door, and so I thought they all did a really good job.
There was a couple students in the help desk in the first floor, and Tina, who works at the checkout desk, was a little bit on edge about, they didn't really know what was going on.
I think the police did a good job handling it. I think the school could have done a better job informing the students.
I felt like there wasn't like a lot of detail, so we didn't know how to respond to how serious it was, and I feel like that's why people were like walking in and out.
I think that University Police did a great job between the alerts and the emails that came out shortly after. I think that everything was well handled.
I definitely felt like they were trying to keep everyone safe, and it seemed like a good thing to do.
And as this investigation continues to find Fletcher, we will have more information to come. I just can't believe that this happened so quickly. I was stalking Twitter all night last night.
Yeah, it was quite the mess last night. I actually received the text message when I was already on my way home, walking in the dark alone, but that's okay. And speaking of crime in Salisbury, a man was shot and killed by a state trooper at the Salisbury Police Barracks after injuring an officer last Tuesday. According to the police statement, the man asked an officer to come outside around 8:30 to inspect his vehicle in order to release him from a safety repair order he had received. The officer called for backup soon after he entered the parking lot and was joined by a trooper who was near the scene. The second officer found the cop lying along the edge of the barracks parking lot, suffering from injuries consistent of being struck and dragged by the vehicle. It is still unclear what exactly happened next, but it appears that both officers began firing at the vehicle the man was driving. The man was found in his bullet-ridden car about 150 feet away from the police barracks. The identity of those involved in this incident has not yet been released to the public.
And while everyone else was enjoying spring break, the SU lacrosse players competed in the annual War on the Shore tournament. SUTV correspondent Amanda Newman is here with your sports update.
Thanks, guys. The men's baseball team lost both games of their doubleheader at York College last Saturday, losing the first game 6-5 and the second one 5-3. They are currently 5-4 within the conference and have an overall record of 13-6. This Saturday, they will be hosting Penn State Harrisburg. The games are set to begin at 12 and 2:30. Today, the women's softball team traveled to number 23 Washington College. They won their first game 9-1 and are currently playing in their second one. Sunday, they will be playing Southern Virginia College and then traveling to Frostburg to take on the Bobcats on Sunday. The men's track and field team are just 2 weeks into their outdoor season and are currently ranked number 9 in the nation. Congratulations to sophomore Lauren Snyder for being named the Division III South Athlete of the Week. She received this after winning the 200 and 400 meter dashes and being a part of the winning team of the 4x400 meter relay. The number 1 women's lacrosse team are 8-0, extending their winning streak to 31 games and have won their past 33 home games after beating number 12 Colby College yesterday 9-7. Goalie Ashton Wheatley had 10 saves in the game yesterday, just 1 goal shy from her record high of 11 saves. This weekend, the Gulls are playing at the University of Mary Washington on Saturday at 12 p.m., and then they travel to St. Mary's College and play at 3 in the afternoon. The number 2 men's lacrosse team remains undefeated after being 9-0 and can check off yet another win when it comes to beating War on the Shore rival Washington College. They won the Charles B. Clark Cup after their 12-7 victory over the Shoremen. Senior midi Greg Corvin scored 2 goals and led the team with 4 points. Junior attackman Mike Kane and sophomore Thomas Carrillo had 2 goals as well. At halftime, Salisbury led Washington College 7-3. Congratulations to goalie Alex Taylor for being named CAC Defensive Player of the Week. He had 24 saves against number 7 Washington College and number 12 York College. He had a 61.5 saving percentage for the week. This weekend, number 2 Seagulls will travel to number 15 University of Mary Washington to take on their conference foe. Face-off is set to begin at 3:30. Now back to you, girls.
Thanks, Amanda, and congratulations to our men's lacrosse team on their win. And with the daunting cold temperatures, it is sure to make several students sick this semester. Daryl Baxter reports whether it's worth getting the flu shot or not.
Salisbury University student Ryan D'Antuano didn't take any precautions to avoid getting the flu, something he later regretted.
Pretty miserable. Bedridden for days, vomiting, sweating. It was crazy bad. Nothing good.
The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention's latest flu map shows the influenza virus is widespread on Delmarva. Bo Wilkinson is a medical assistant at Salisbury Immediate Care and Injury Center, where flu patients are common.
Compared to last year, I'd say it's been a little bit better, actually, than last year, but recently there's been quite a few people coming in with the flu, yes.
Doctors say everyone is at risk for the flu, but pregnant women, children under the age of 3, and adults 65 years or older are most susceptible. Experts recommend getting a flu shot even now, but Wilkinson warns it's not 100% effective.
Yes, we definitely recommend getting the flu shot. Is it 100% effective? No. Even if you have the flu shot, you may still get the flu, but you won't get it as severe as if you did not have the flu shot. I mean, obviously, if you're somewhat having symptoms of the flu and you get the flu shot, it's not going to help you right away.
Besides being vaccinated, the CDC recommends avoiding contact with sick people, washing your hands often, and cleaning and disinfecting surfaces that could be contaminated. Experts remind you that the flu virus can be spread to people up to 6 feet away, and the virus is contagious up to a week after a person becomes sick. In Salisbury, I'm Daryl Baxter reporting.
Hopefully the flu season won't be affecting us any longer now that spring has officially started, or so we thought. The search for survivors in the Washington state landslide that occurred on Saturday morning is continuing to press on this week. There have been 24 confirmed deaths so far, along with 176 individuals who are unaccounted for. However, all the unaccounted for people are not necessarily victims of the disaster, since many names have been duplicated during the hectic search. The landslide occurred over a square mile of land, which impacted 49 structures in the towns of Oso and Darrington, Washington. The landslide was caused by groundwater saturation and heavy rain. Officials will continue to search through the debris as long as it takes to identify missing individuals.
And as a recent discovery has been made for the Malaysian Flight 370, French satellites that found over 100 pieces of debris discovered the mysterious flight that disappeared from tracking devices in the middle of the Indian Ocean. Because of rough waters and winds of the ocean, the remains are vastly scattered and difficult to reach. Heading into its 4th week since its disappearance, the passengers of the flight have been pronounced dead at this point, as the 3rd week of the disappearance concludes. There are still no answers as to why this plane went missing or what happened after it fell off of airline tracking grids. Here's Carly Nichols to tell us more about this weather and affecting the investigation of the flight and why spring feels more like winter.
Thanks, guys. I'm sure most of you are just like me and ready for those springtime temperatures to move back into Delmarva. We unfortunately had a minor setback on Tuesday. We saw about 4 inches of accumulated snow that sat over Salisbury and had a rough start to our week. We saw this storm right over here, it just kind of sat there, and meteorologists have a special term for this storm. We refer to them as a bomb because the low pressure deepens very rapidly. We saw almost a 24 millibar drop in 24 hours, which is very rare, very severe, sometimes can cause a lot more damage than what this storm left for us. We saw the jet stream over the past couple days, very high ridge over here on the west coast, which allows this trough over here on the east coast to dip down into the Gulf and allow these Arctic temperatures to move into our region. We shouldn't be seeing these, though, this late in the season due to the high sun angle at this point in March. For your weather almanac, we see highs a little bit lower than average. We're supposed to be in the low 60s at this point, but we only saw a high of about 46 today. Lows still not quite there, but only a 5-degree drop isn't too bad. Good thing we're not at this low, though, for the record. This was set in 2001. I know personally I would sure love to see that high, though, 84, and that was only set in 2007. So we had this nice high pressure system sitting over the Carolinas today, which allowed the sunshine to come out, the clouds to go away. We saw a great day, temperature's still cool, but at least it was nice to have a sunny day. We unfortunately have this low pressure system and cold front that's moving our way into our area very slowly. It'll be a little bit closer to us tomorrow morning, and by tomorrow night, we should see some rain falling, probably late afternoon, early evening. Nothing that's gonna be a huge setback though. For your 36-hour forecast, tonight we're going to see temperatures drop off into the mid-30s. Nothing too bad. Some clouds will roll into the area. Tomorrow, 66. We're getting up there for springtime, which is going to be nice. Unfortunately, we will see some rain, though, in the afternoon, like I said. Then temperatures will drop back off into the low 50s tomorrow with the rain staying with us. Like I said, rainy weekend for us. Sunday evening, it's going to dry out though. Stay dry on Monday, high of almost 60. Tuesday, some showers are going to move back in. Not a great start to April, but 63 still looking pretty nice compared to what it has been. Wednesday, some sun. Thursday, some clouds. But like I said, temperatures by next week should be getting back up into the 60s for springtime. Like Brooke said earlier, the Malaysian flight has had so many complications. Unfortunately, we're seeing these winds that are disgusting over the South Indian Ocean. As you can see on this map, the lighter shading of blue, the stronger the winds. We've had almost a constant wind speed of 20 miles per hour over there with gusts up to 100 miles per hour. It's almost impossible for helicopters or airplanes to fly in that condition. Another problem that they're having with the search mission is the wave height. Just like in the other map, you're going to see the lighter shading being the higher the wave. We've seen waves of almost 65 feet over there. This isn't too atypical for the South Indian Ocean. They always have some crazy weather over there, but unfortunately it's coming at a really bad time for the families. But hopefully over the next couple of days, we will see the weather die down and let them continue their search mission. That's this week's weather. Have a great weekend, everyone.
And after this brief break, we will take a look at how other Maryland campuses are reacting to this week's crazy weather.
Stay tuned. You're watching SUTV Evening News.
Have been doing this week. Let's turn it over to Sarah Thompson with this week's Campus Connection.
Tonight on Campus Connection, we will be focusing on a doctor at the University of Maryland, increased fees at Towson University, and a unique certification at Frostburg State University. We start off tonight with an increase of fees at Towson. This past December, Chief Financial Officer for the university, Joe Oster, and Vice President for Student Affairs, Deb Moriarty, announced that full-time students would be paying $74 more per year. Oster also introduced an increase in non-mandatory fees, including parking and transportation, dining plans, and housing. Oster stated any fee increases are influenced by a number of factors, including contractual requirements, inflationary costs, or new program enhancements. The University of Maryland hosted Dr. Rick Hodes this past Monday, where he shared his experiences of helping sick patients in Ethiopia for over 25 years. Hodes spoke to over 120 students and spectators about his experiences living and working in Ethiopia. He discussed his work on the numerous patients he has cured and the patients he has sent to other countries to help them get the best treatments they could. Hodes also raises funds to support surgeries and procedures for his patients. He's fostered 17 children and put them on his own health insurance plan to help them get the help they need. And Frostburg has become the first higher education institution in Maryland approved to offer a dual elementary middle school teacher certification. The new FSU program provides the balance between knowledge of educational development that comes with elementary preparation and a deeper level of knowledge in such content areas such as math, science, social studies, and English. The new program, which will officially launch in fall of 2015, will include a middle school foundations course, a methods and strategies course, and 18 to 20 credit hours of a content specialty. However, current students can take advantage of much of the program that is already in place and receive middle school certification through the Praxis test. That's it for this week's Campus Connection. I'm Sarah Thompson. Now back to you, Brooke and Sarah.
The state Senate passed a preliminary approval on Tuesday regarding the increase of penalties for hazing on college campuses. The penalty would be raised from $500 to $5,000 fine based on this bill, as well as a 6-month cap on jail time. The legislation is because of a former Salisbury University SAE pledge that reported severe hazing in the spring of 2012.
And the Untouchables are putting on their annual merengue performance this weekend in the Holloway Hall Auditorium. Salisbury ASA and Squawkapella will also be featured in the show as guest performers. Tickets are available at Guerrero University Center Information Desk for $3 with your Gall card. A portion of the profits will support Relay for Life, and the first 100 people to buy a ticket will receive a door prize. Performances will begin this Friday and Saturday at 7 p.m.
And the Housing and Residence Life Social Strength Awareness Team will be putting on a program called Love Doesn't Hurt next Monday on March 31st. The program features skits and poetry that will encourage positive relationships and will provide an insight on how to handle difficult situations in relationships. The program's message is to promote love as a positive and uplifting experience instead of the feeling of dread and control. This program begins at 7 p.m. in the Wycomico Room.
And as students start to promote positive experiences, downtown Salisbury continues to provide a positive change for our city by revitalizing local buildings.
It takes a long time to transform a beleaguered downtown like Salisbury's, but there's an air of change downtown now. The renovation of the old Feldman's building on West Market Street into retail and office space is an example.
We've been looking at this property for 30 years as being somewhat of an eyesore and a detriment to downtown redeveloping and repurposing.
Salisbury Mayor Jim Ireton was re-elected partly on his pledge to bring more business and more people to Salisbury's downtown area. The idea is to turn Salisbury into a destination, like quaint Berlin or dynamic Ocean City. The plan is to turn vacant lots into a cultural center and turn the downtown into a pedestrian paradise.
Their plan is to connect it to the Riverwalk and bring that path up from the river along Mill Street up to Main Street, which I think is also going to help bring more business to that area.
Brew River restaurant manager Tracy Huggins says this transformation could help connect the area and bring in more business.
And that way, not only will the locals enjoy it, but the tourists will maybe start to come by more instead of just driving through here to Ocean City.
Builder Gillis hopes his renovation will put the Feldman's building at the epicenter of a revitalized downtown.
And I believe that the change in appearance that this property will create in its completion will be a tremendous asset for downtown Salisbury.
The major remodeling of the Feldman building is scheduled to begin this summer. In Salisbury, Maryland, I'm John Wagner reporting.
Thank you, John Wagner, for that compelling story. And as changes are being made in downtown Salisbury, national changes in healthcare are coming as well. For that story, here's Sarah Wood with your government update.
And now for your government update. The Obama administration has extended the deadline for open enrollment to March 31st for people to have coverage this year, or they may face penalties under the Affordable Care Act. And this may allow for people who need some time due to certain circumstances. However, House Speaker John Boehner spoke out against the extended deadline, and others argued that this would allow for more people to gain health care that may not have had it otherwise. And with the midterm election underway, a new CBS News poll questioned voters about their excitement for voting in November. 81% of Republicans said that they definitely plan to vote, compared to the 68% of registered Democrats. 47% of independents said that they were excited to cast a ballot in the midterms. And the release from CBS News explained that this should be viewed as a gauge of enthusiasm, not viewed as a predictive of turnout. The sampling error is plus or minus 3 percentage points on this poll. And this past Tuesday, professors and students came out to discuss the crisis in Ukraine. We spoke with Professor Robert Becker, who is a panelist in this discussion.
People say, oh, the Crimea, that's far away. Why does that bother us? And in fact, they're partially correct. Crimea is almost halfway around the world. It's a small area. It's not any bigger than Maryland, by the way, with a much smaller population. And so Crimea doesn't represent a threat or a potential threat to us. That's not the problem. The problem is the way that Mr. Putin took over and annexed Crimea. In doing that, he violated at least 3 international rules of law, of 3 treaties. The point is, no, Crimea is far away. But the problem is the way that Mr. Putin went about doing it is completely unacceptable because it can unravel the entire system of international order.
That's all for your government updates. Now back to you, Brooke and Sarah.
Thanks, Sarah. Now we see how 2 students have taken their business skills to the next level. Here's Liz Damas with that story tonight.
Salisbury resident Nelka Caceres Rivera says when she had a hard time finding even a part-time job, she started thinking out of the box.
Basically, we kept getting rejected for jobs, so we decided to take it into our own hands and just make our own store.
She says co-owning her online store Dusted with Nina Sanzi has its stresses and successes, but financial experts say electronic retail, or e-tail, could be a gold mine. According to JP Morgan Chase, online shoppers spent almost $1 trillion worldwide from 2010 to 2013. Salisbury University marketing professor Paula Morris says convenience, competition, and choice help online businesses like Caceres Rivera's.
The more we give consumers options to be where they are, when they want to shop, and make it as convenient as possible, I think that's where your internet options are going to step in.
But global online store owners support the local economy. Caceres Rivera and her co-owner Nina Sanzi shop locally, thrift shops, antique stores, to fill the virtual shelves of their online store.
We do pick stuff that's unique, but we also pick stuff that we think we can mark up double, basically.
But like most business owners, Caceres Rivera and Sanzi's dreams are bigger than their one online shop.
We want it to be like a huge corporate business. We want to become like the CEO, so this is just like the beginning.
And there is plenty of room to grow. The Department of Commerce estimates electronic retail only makes up 9% of all retail sales in the U.S. In Salisbury, I'm Liz Dalmas reporting.
Thank you for being with us tonight. Join us here next Thursday for the latest news and updates across campus.
And from all of us here at SUTV Evening News, good night.